Good job, baby.
Way to go.
I'm Erin. After over a decade of being a CrossFit coach and personal trainer, I ditched the gym for workouts at home. But even for a fitness instructor, working out alone can be tough. So I invite you to work out with me. Welcome back to So Pumped Fitness, the channel for people who love to move. Today's workout is all arms. Now, this workout was inspired by one of my personal training clients who had a little bit of a tweaked knee, and so I developed a workout for her that was all upper body, and it was really fun. So I wanted to share it with you guys too. This complete upper body workout is awesome if you have something tweaked in your lower body or your lower body is just really sore, but you still want to get a workout in. And it's also a fantastic workout if you don't want to get too sweaty. So make sure to bookmark this workout, put it on one of your playlists. You can come back to it later. This is going to be a favorite that you're going to want to do over and over again. For today's upper body routine, you are going to need 2 light weights. If you have dumbbells, that's great, but I recommend that they be 5 pounds or less. And if you don't have dumbbells, grab cans from your pantry or 2 books that weigh about the same weight or some sort of light-weighted objects. Go ahead and pause here, grab what you need, and then we're about to get started. Our upper body warm-up is going to be 3 minutes long, 30 seconds each exercise. We're going to start out with gentle shoulder rolls. So let's go shoulder rolls backwards, just getting this big range of motion through our shoulder girdle. So shrugging our shoulders up and then pressing them down away from our ears. Give me a few more shoulder circles back and then reverse that direction. So if you were going back first, give me some big shoulder circles forward. And let's start taking some big deep breaths here too, filling our lungs with air. Next exercise is going to be arm circles. Let's start out with backward circles. So big range of motion. Again, shrugging the shoulders up. This should feel a lot the same as our shoulder circles, but now we've just got our entire arm in the mix. Big stretches all through that range of motion. Now let's switch the direction. So again, big arm circles forward. Big range of motion, again, still big deep breaths here. Next exercise we're going to is arm swings. So let's do that now. Arm swings forward and back. Each time our arms come forward, we're switching which arm is on top. We're getting a little bit of a stretch through our chest as those arms come back. And then as we give ourselves a big hug, we might feel a little bit of a stretch there through our shoulder blades. Keep swinging those arms. Good, a few more seconds here. And then next we're going to be going to our overhead reach. So we're going to alternately stretch up and to the side. So just keep moving here, big stretch, alternating our arms, reaching up overhead. This always reminds me of those Disney princesses, like waking up in the morning, big morning stretch. This should feel nice, a big stretch through our lats, all through the side of our bodies. Keep moving here. We've got about 6 more seconds. And then next, we are going to go to an exercise whose name everyone has made fun of me for. I call it weird arms. So it's kind of like the floss, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Weird arms. We're taking one arm in front of us, one arm behind us, bending our elbows as we go. So one arm comes forward to touch the shoulder. The other arm tries to touch the shoulder in the back. If you have a better name for this exercise, feel free to comment it in the video here below, but I'm going to keep calling it weird arms until somebody tells me something better. Last thing we're going to do is just big stretches. So stretch out to the side, point through your index finger, point back through your index finger. You might feel a little stretch through your biceps as we stretch out and back. Stretch your arms behind you like you're an airplane taking off. Actually, I guess this is an airplane. Like you're one of those statues on the front of a ship. Stretch your arms up, overhead, cross those fingers together. Get a big stretch forward. And that will do it for our arm warm-up. Grab those light weights and let's get this routine started. Now that we have our 2 light weights, we are going to go through 8 exercises. And we're going to start out going through those first 8 exercises 30 seconds each, and I'll walk you through how each exercise is going to go. Then we're going to take a 30-second break. Then we'll go through all 8 exercises again, 45 seconds each time. Then we'll take a 30-second break. Then we're going to do it again, 45 seconds each through all 8 exercises. Your arms are going to be seriously so pumped. Our first exercise is standing, and it is called an upright row. So we're starting out with our weights here in front of us, and we are going to bring our elbows up above our shoulders. So let's spend 30 seconds here doing our upright row. It's important that our shoulders come up and back. So our elbows come up and back above our shoulders. So it's like we're shrugging up and then shrugging behind us. Keep going here. This is a warm-up pace. We're just getting to know these exercises, making sure that we're doing them correctly, shrugging our shoulders up and back. So our next exercise is going to be our bent row. I want us to bend the knees, bend our hips, abs are in strong, and our back is flat like a tabletop. Our arms start out straight, and then we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, straightening our arms again, bringing those elbows up toward the ceiling. So it's like we're trying to pinch a pencil between our shoulder blades as we squeeze our shoulder blades together here. Keep going, a few more seconds here. Elbows reaching up toward the ceiling. Now this next exercise you can do standing, but I'm going to take a knee because the camera doesn't follow me all the way up to the ceiling. This is called Arnold press. We're starting with our knuckles forward, backs of our hands together, and then we're bringing our hands rotating around and pressing up overhead. Coming back down, rotating. So the sides of our hands touch, rotate, press up overhead. Keep moving here. Knuckles forward, rotate, press overhead, back down, rotate forward. The next one, we're going to come back to that bent position. This time we're going to a bent fly, bending the knees, pushing our butts back, a slight bend in our elbows, and we're bringing those arms way out to the side. So we're like a pterodactyl flapping its wings here. Really important that we have our belly buttons pulled in and up, nice and strong, supporting our lower back. But we're still squeezing our shoulder blades together. The difference between this and the bent row is that we're bringing those arms wide out to the side. We're coming down to the floor for the next one. This is called floor press. It's like a bench press, but instead of a bench, we're lying on the floor. So our elbows come down to the floor, and then we're pushing those arms straight up overhead. Good, you got this. A slightly smaller range of motion than our bench press. If we were on a bench, those elbows would come down past the bench, but obviously the floor blocks that. So our elbows just gently touch the floor, and then we're pressing them up overhead. Next up, we have our pullover. So both weights are up toward the ceiling, and then with our abs pulled in strong, pressing our lower back down, we're bringing our arms up overhead and then squeezing those weights up to the ceiling. So to the floor as we bring the weight up overhead, and then bringing that weight back up to the ceiling. As we bring our weights up to the ceiling, we want to think about pushing our shoulder blades down into our back pockets. So we're squeezing our lats as we do that. Next exercise is our floor fly. So just like our reverse fly was the opposite of our bent row, now here we're bringing these cans way out to the side for our fly, squeezing our chest muscles as we bring our weights together. Our floor fly here. A slight bend in our elbows, controlling this, making sure not to smash our elbows down into the floor. And now the last exercise of our 8, we're going to come up into a plank position. So we can come to our full plank, or we can have knees on the ground. And what we're doing here is sliding our weight across, coming back to our plank, reaching through, sliding our weight across. So we're in either our knee plank or our full plank, and then we're reaching through, sliding our weight across, hand down, reach through, slide the weight across. Keep going. We have a 30-second break. Okay, did you catch all of those exercises? Even if you just were caught on right at the end of that 30-second interval, it's okay because you have 2 chances, 45 seconds each, to get those exercises in this time. So let's stand up again. We're going through the exact same order. So we'll be starting out with our upright row. And remember, this time, 45 seconds each. 3, 2, 1, here we go. that upright row. So 45 seconds here. We're shrugging our shoulders up and back, bringing those elbows up high. And I like to kind of wander around as I'm doing these standing exercises because as we're doing any sort of standing exercise, we never want to have our knees locked out, right? We just want our knees slightly unlocked, and I just kind of like to wander, so that's what I do. If you're standing in place though, just make sure to have a slight bend in those knees the entire time. These 45 seconds has gone by so quickly. I love it. 10 seconds left. And then after this, we're going to that bent row. 5 more seconds here. Okay, switching up now, bending the knees, pushing our butt back. And this is where arms start straight, and then we're squeezing our elbows up toward the ceiling. So this is a bent row here. Squeezing our elbows up as high as they can go each time, and a little bit of a pause there at the top, really squeezing our shoulder blades together. Now the added bonus here is that our lower body and our core should be working as well. So even though our focus is on straightening our arms all the way and then bending our elbows, reaching our elbows up to the ceiling, we also are pulling our belly buttons in and up. We're pushing our butt back. We should feel our hamstrings and our lower back having to work really hard here. Now up next is our Arnold press. Remember, you can do this standing up, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a knee so that you can see the entire movement. We're starting with our knuckles forward, rotating around, pressing up overhead, bringing it back down, rotating around. Keep going here. So, as you can probably guess, the Arnold press is named for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I guess maybe he came up with this. I don't know. I didn't do a history check before I did this workout, but it's called the Arnold press, and we know that it's named for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So channel your inner Arnold and really think about squeezing your pecs, squeezing your shoulders. We've got to make Arnold proud on this exercise. After our Arnold press here, we're going to our reverse fly. So we're coming back up to that bent over position where knees are bent, pushing our butts back, but this is where we're bringing those arms way out to the side, our big pterodactyl arms here. Squeezing our shoulder blades together, still getting that nice squeeze through the upper part of our back, but our arms are out wide. Now remember, we've got to have those abs in strong. We're pushing our butts back. We're pushing our knees back, making our hamstrings and our core muscles do the work to support our body in this good positioning here. We have 10 seconds left in our reverse fly. Keep pausing at the top. Now up next, we have our floor press. So we're coming all the way down to the floor. And this is like our bench press where we're pushing the weights up overhead, gently tapping our elbows down, pushing those weights up. We might be able to move a little bit quicker here. So move as quickly as you can without jamming those elbows down into the floor. Squeezing our chest muscles, thinking about trying to press those weights all the way up through the ceiling. Our head and neck should be completely relaxed here. And our next exercise is going to be those pullovers. And that's going to be strengthening our lat muscles. So we're taking our arms up toward the ceiling, then bringing our arms back up over our heads and squeezing our lats, bringing those hands back up toward the ceiling. So ceiling, and then the floor up overhead, back up to the ceiling. Both arms working together. Bringing those weights almost all the way to the floor and then up overhead. We have just a slight bend in our elbows. Really, our elbows are mostly straight. They're just not completely locked. And then we're squeezing our lat muscles, those big bat wing muscles, thinking about pushing our shoulder blades down into our back pockets each time we bring the weights up toward the ceiling. Next, we are going to that fly. So bringing those weights way out to the side and then squeezing our chest as we bring our weights up toward the ceiling. So again, this one might be able to go a little bit quicker, but you're still focusing on form, still focusing on squeezing the target muscles. So those cans come way out to the side, and then we're squeezing our chest as we bring our weights together. Still making sure that our head, our neck, completely relaxed here. That next exercise, we're gonna be going to our plank, and remember, we can go full plank with our knees up or a plank with our knees down. So we're coming to our plank, and then we're reaching through, dragging our weight across, reaching through, dragging our weight across. This is gonna be a little bit more of a challenging one because we're holding our plank the entire 45 seconds, but don't worry, we only have 25 seconds left. So the goal as we're dragging our weights through is to move our hips as little as possible, trying to keep our torsos steady, trying not to let our hips sway side to side as we drag our weights through. You are doing such a good job. You have 5 seconds left. Good, good. And let's rest. 30 seconds rest here, and we have already made it through one of our 45-second intervals. We have the exact same thing coming up, and then you have made it through this arm routine. Shake the arms out a little bit. Now you know the exercises, you know the order, you know exactly how long 45 seconds feels in each of those exercises. So let's finish this workout strong. 3, 2, 1. We're starting with that upright row. We have 45 seconds here. You know the drill. We're shrugging up and back. We're getting those elbows high. We're thinking about shrugging our shoulders up behind our ears. So it's not quite a straight up motion. It's an up and back motion. And we're making sure that our knees aren't locked out, maybe wandering around a little bit like I like to do. Also, while we're here standing, we have our core muscles pulled in strong. So it's like you're trying to touch the bottom of your lungs with your belly button. Pull that belly button in and up. We are almost through with our upright row, which means that next we're going to our bent row. So we're bending our knees, pressing our butts back. That's gonna activate the hamstrings. Arms start long, and then we're squeezing our elbows up toward the ceiling. This is our last set of bent row. Let's really make it count. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. As we're doing this bent row, we have our shoulders down away from our ears. So we're not scrunching our shoulders up toward our ears anymore. We're creating a long turtle neck, like a turtle sticking his head out from his shell. And we're squeezing our shoulder blades together. So we're working the back of our backs. Keep breathing here. We have 6 more seconds, and then the Arnold press is next. This is the one that you can do standing up, but I am gonna take a knee. Arnold press, we have knuckles forward, rotating, and then pressing up overhead, getting a little chest squeeze, and then pressing up, pressing those weights through the ceiling. So squeezing our pecs, and then squeezing our shoulders. Good. And hopefully you are squeezing your core muscles in strong as you do this. Whether you're taking a knee like I am, but you probably don't need to be, you're probably standing up. You have your knees unlocked and you have your belly button pulled in strong. Keep going through this Arnold press. And then we have our last set of bent reverse fly coming up next. So we're coming back to that bent position, pushing our butts back, knees are bent, abs are in strong, and then big pterodactyl arms out to the side. A little bit of a pause at the top. This one should be a little bit more difficult to pause at the top than in our bent row, because now we're bringing those weights way out to the side. We have that long lever level here. That if you can, getting that little pause there at the top of the movement, really squeezing our shoulder blades together. It's gonna really work those muscles there in our upper back. From here, remember, we're going to that floor press, and let's come all the way down onto the floor, our last set of floor press. So we're pressing those weights up toward the ceiling. Each time our elbows come down to the floor, they're down at a 45-degree angle. So they're not flared out to the side, they're pointing down, kind of in a, I don't know what I'm gonna say there. Keep squeezing those weights up toward the ceiling. This is our last floor press. And then we've got our pullover after this, but 10 more seconds here in our floor press. All right, our pullover is next. So those weights are up toward the ceiling. And then we're bringing them up overhead, abs in strong, and squeezing our shoulders down as we bring those weights back up to the ceiling. To the floor overhead, squeezing up to the ceiling. Those weights don't have to touch the floor as they come overhead. We're just going, reaching our arms up overhead, and then squeezing those weights up to the ceiling, pushing our shoulder blades down into our back pockets. Those lat muscles are those huge muscles that run along our middle back. Our last set of pullovers here. And then let's go to our fly. So bringing those weights out way far to the side, a slight bend in our elbows the entire time. And then squeezing our chest as those weights come up to the ceiling. This one can be a little bit quicker, but we're pausing at the top, squeezing our pec muscles, and we're making sure to control the weights out to the side. Bringing those weights out as far as we can with a slight bend in the elbow. So the weights aren't coming all the way down to the floor, but our elbows are coming down to the floor. And then the weights are just a few inches above the floor. Up next, we have our very last plank and weight pull through. Coming back up, we can be in that knee plank or that full plank. The choice is ours, but we've got our abs pulled in strong. And as we do that little walk with our hands and we pull the weight through from side to side, we have our core muscles pulled in super strong. And we're keeping our hips as still and steady as possible. I want you to think about balancing a full glass of wine on your hips and try not to spill any of the wine. I know that's important to some of you out there. So really keep those hips steady. We've got just a few more seconds here. And relax. Excellent job. Oh my gosh, relax those arms for a second. What a great arm routine. Awesome job. Let's get a quick stretch. So you can stand or kneel, and I want you to take that left hand behind you so the forearm is parallel to the floor, and then we're dropping our right ear over toward our right shoulder. We want to feel that stretch through the left side of our necks, through the top of our shoulder. We're thinking about pushing our shoulder down and back. And let's breathe here. Let our heads just fall heavy over to the right side. Stretching out those muscles through the tops of our shoulders that we worked in our Arnold press, that we worked in our upright row. Our arms and shoulders worked hard today. And let's switch that out. So our head comes up, we switch out our arms, right arm goes behind us, and then we're taking that left ear over toward our left shoulder. So again, excellent job here in this arm toning workout. Hopefully you really enjoyed that movement that we got in today, but again, it's not the kind of workout that's gonna make you drenched in sweat. So this is something that you can sneak in, even if, you're dressed, your makeup is done, your hair is done, whatever, and you don't wanna mess it up, but you still wanna get a little bit of movement in. Bookmark this workout. It's the perfect workout for that situation. And let's bring our heads back up, release that right arm. We're going to go to a chest expansion. So you can still do this one standing up. I'm gonna hang out here on the knee. We're gonna grasp our fingers together behind us, and then we're pushing straight down first. And if you can, lifting those hands from the lower back. Mine don't go very far. Yours might go a little bit further up, but wherever we are here, we should be feeling that stretch through our chest and through the front of our shoulders. So now we're stretching out our biceps, our pecs, and the front of our shoulders. Let's breathe here. These muscles worked hard today during that plank and pull through. during our floor press, and during that floor fly. And let's bring our hands back down to our lower back, unclasp our fingers. We're gonna go to our eagle arms stretch. Again, this is one that you can be doing standing up, but ceiling issues. We're gonna take our left arm underneath our right elbow and then twist our hands together. So some people might be here, some people might be here and not be able to get their hands together at all. Some people might be able to go palm to palm. Whatever you are in, whatever position you are in, we're thinking about pulling our shoulder blades apart, getting that stretch through our upper backs. We want to think about pushing our elbows forward, lifting through our fingertips here in this eagle arm stretch. And as we take deep breaths, expanding our lungs backwards, expanding our upper back, just really getting that good stretch through there. These muscles that we're stretching now, they're the ones that worked in our bent row and in our reverse fly. Switch it out. So now our left arm goes under our right arm. And again, pressing our elbows forward, lifting our fingers to the ceiling. So we're stretching at those muscles that we were working when we were in our bent position, working our backs against gravity in those reverse flies and the bent rows. Anytime you heard me say, think about squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades, those are these muscles that we're stretching out right now. Good, and let's release those eagle arms. Last thing I want to do is just take one arm forward, get a little bit of a wrist stretch here. So we're just bending our fingers back, pushing the palm of our hand forward. Feeling this through our forearm and through our wrist. And then let's switch it out. Other one, just gently bending the fingers back, pushing the palm of our hand forward. Excellent job, and thank you for joining me on this arm strengthening routine today. Bookmark this, add it to your favorites playlist. This is an arm routine that you can do 2 to 3 times a week. Really get those toned, strong arms, and again, it's a great exercise to do when you just don't want to be all dripping in sweat. Share this one with your friends. They're going to want to get toned arms too. Make sure to give me a little thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I will see you next time in the So Pumped workouts.